Welcome, friends, to another Mercy Moment Emery episode. I'm glad you got to join me wherever you may find yourself in life, whatever time of the day, whatever may be happening in your journey. Glad you could join me. And my question today is, will you be wishing? Will you be wondering? Will you be worrying? Or will you be worshiping? The profound decision of trust in the waiting. And friends, we each have a choice when we're in the waiting room of life. It may be the waiting room of a doctor, maybe in the waiting room of preparation in the journey of a relationship, and maybe in the waiting room of waiting for your baby to be born. Or it may be in the waiting room of uncertainty with financial hardships. Whatever the waiting room may be, friends, I've seen in life that we have a choice in how we wait. And how we wait so oftentimes determines the daily outcome of that process. If it's good, bad, indifferent, if it's full of peace and joy in life, or it's full of anxiety, stress, and worry, it is a choice, friends. How we wait is a choice. And this is something I've found to be profoundly impactful in the journey of life through many waiting seasons, waitings of unknown and uncertainty. And in the last 2 years, with so much uncertainty looming in the world, I think it's critical to share this message and to really take it to heart, because there will be new waiting rooms no matter where I may be right now. I'm never at a place of arrival. Arrival is not the end game, as Corey Asbury wrote in his song Father's House. The journey is where the Father's at. You never wanted perfect, you just wanted my heart. But in that journey, I have a choice. How I wait. How I wait is so paramount and critical. And the life of peace and joy that we all long for is found in waiting rightly. And it's waiting in a posture of worship. So instead of waiting in a place of just wishing that things were better, wishing that things will get better eventually, in that place, I can just wish. That really is not a really effective way to wait. Sometimes it's where I start. Being in a place of wondering, that's real. There may be a lot of questions in your life right now in the waiting room that you're in. And wondering is a way that we can wait. But perhaps there's a better way. I know worrying definitely is not the best way to go, because worrying just basically creates problems that do not exist, because I'm basically projecting things into the future that I don't know. I'm trying to create certainty in a world of uncertainty. And worry is a wrong form of meditation, meditating on what could go wrong, what is wrong. And it really starts to destroy us. I know clinically, there's a whole host of tests that have been done. Worry creates so much chaos that's unneeded and unnecessary in the waiting. And worrying never gets us to a beneficial place. It usually stresses us out, drains our health, gets us sick. Worry is the stem of a lot of the fruit in our life that really is rotten and botches things up, if we're honest. So worrying doesn't work. We'll say that. And lastly, worshiping. This is by far the best way to wait, friends. There's been many waiting rooms that I've waited in, not only in hospitals, not only in periods and seasons of my life and in my heart, but when I'm waiting in the uncertainty of life and death and the balance. I've had that so many times with my daughters, Emery and Mercy, that inspired these episodes and this whole series and this whole unraveling of now episode 188. It's crazy, but watching their lives and yet again constantly coming to a place of waiting and putting their lives back in the hands of the Father, because their lives are in His hands. We don't determine how many days we live on this earth. At the end of the day, each day is numbered, as the psalmist said in Psalm 139. David wrote that each day was numbered before one came to be. But in that waiting of another health crisis, I've learned that worshiping is the place of peace, the place of power, the place of a heart that is resilient. How do I develop radical resiliency is going to be a series that I'm going to unpack here in these next episodes following this one. And I just wanted to give that forecast because I think in our world today, there's been so many things wearing us down, and resiliency can be looming, and it's like, man, I just need to pick me up. So we're going to unpack and dive into that next, but don't want to lose traction here. Worshiping is the posture in the waiting, a decision made in the waiting that alters everything. And I have a practical playlist I've been developing the last 2 years called Worship in the Fire. And I've cultivated a list of almost 300, 400 songs. I don't know how many total. And if you want it, let me know. Reach out to me. It's on Spotify. That's the platform I use. But really posturing my heart in a place of praise, a place of worship, that God, I choose to focus on the one who is known, the one who is certain, when everything is uncertain, when the balance, the decision is hanging in the balance and the outcome is hanging in that balance. I choose to worship because I'm going to posture my heart towards the one who knows the outcome. Instead of focusing on an unknown outcome and trying to worry about it or wonder about it or wish something about it, I'm going to choose to worship through that. And that decision cultivates a life of peace, a life of power, a life of serenity in chaos. And I think that's what we all crave as human beings. We crave for a place of peace and a place of stability in a world of instability. So today, friends, be encouraged to worship as you wait. And worship is about focusing on God and acknowledging and celebrating who He is. Instead of acknowledging and celebrating crummy circumstances, I'm acknowledging, celebrating, and valuing His worth, His worthship. He is worthy because He reigns above it all. And it's not about what's going on, it's about what He wants to do within us. So instead of the where, I would rather challenge to focus on the what. And I've done this through my life, focusing on, God, what do you want to do within me through this? I'm not going to waste my pain, but I'm going to worship you. I'm going to look to you. I'm going to seek you through it, and you will produce the outcome. Because you say in your word in Romans 8:28 that you cause all things to work together for good for the one who loves you and is called according to your purpose. But it also says that He predestined us to be conformed to His image, and being conformed to His image comes through suffering. Suffering is the pathway of transformation and being transformed and conformed to His image. So take heart in the journey, friends. There is purpose in the pain, and may we choose to worship through it. Until next time, friends, onwards and upwards with grace and grit.